Hello everybody, hope you're doing really well. Today I've got a very special treat for you. It's a really unusual story which I hopefully will share with you, and hopefully you really like it. I love this story, I've got to admit. I'm today in Warnford, just shy, well not shy really, but sort of semi-close to sort of Southampton, or on the way to Southampton at least, in a beautiful rural part of the countryside really. I mean, I've driven through here loads of times and I'm actually finally getting the opportunity to tell this wonderful story. So stay with me. Be interesting to see what you think of this one, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now. Well, welcome back everybody. What a fascinating story I've got to tell you today. It's about a gravestone, that of George Lewis, and it's unusual for a few different reasons. Most gravestones that we know are basically give you the name and the date of that person when they were born and when they died, and maybe some associating family members who are buried nearby. That's pretty much normally it. But on this one, it's really special and unusual because there is a depiction of how the person died. We're talking about George Lewis. Now, essentially, George Lewis was a local guy, and he died in the winter of 1830 at the age of 41. And that he was either a carpenter or he was a woodsman. And the story basically goes that he was one day going out into the woods, and he was basically felling some trees. And basically the story of that is that as he was chopping one down, one fell on him and killed him outright. And that is obviously the depiction really, where you can see that on the image there's a skeleton, and the skeleton is pointing to a fallen bit of tree that's lying with a saw at one side and the skeleton and the tomb on the other, basically telling the story of how he died. But there's two depictions of this. One is that he was literally on top of the branch when he detached it, and then he basically fell, and then the branch pretty much crushed him. The other one was basically as he was sawing it, it just fell on him. But either way, the fact of the matter is, branch fell on him and killed him, and that's really what you're seeing on that depiction. It's really different and really unusual, and something I've never even come across on my many looks at many visits to grave sites and everything else. It's really different, and actually it's amazing condition, considering I know that they've sort of retouched it up as well, because it's actually quite an interesting artifact really for people to actually check out. There's a legend really that they speculated that the death was as a result of divine punishment for working on a Sunday, but however on his death actually, December the 18th, the day of his death, was actually on a Friday, so it actually wasn't that. But it's wonderful how this sort of like it pertains to a folk tale and original sort of story behind it. It's wonderful really. I absolutely love that story, do you know that? And it's really great visiting this beautiful church. Church is part of a Churches Conservation Trust as well, so obviously you can visit it on certain times. I mean, it's really quite difficult to park here. I've parked sort of like just in a little sort of bit around the side, as you probably saw from the beginning of the video, and then there's a footpath that runs all the way through here, and then behind us for another video that we're going to do is King John's ruin. We'll talk about that in another video, but I thought I'd show you that really wonderful site. So I'm obviously around the corner of the church here. Thought I'd just shelter myself from the wind, but there it is. Let me take you to it. Pretty cool. So I love these stories, really do love these stories. And I'm just amazed at the condition, to be honest. When I came here I really wasn't sure of like what the condition was going to look like, but the fact that it's really good. I mean, they've clearly cleaned it up and stuff, but there you go. If you ever want to visit, I'm sort of giving you a few from the back of the church, but there you go. Look, there's a skeleton of him, and there's his tomb on the right, and that's him in the middle, or the skeleton version of him. And obviously you can see that a branch has sort of fallen down, and that's basically him pointing and saying that that's what killed me. That was to my demise. And there you go, died December 17th, 1830, age 41. What a really unusual thing thing to see. 'Cause normally we get these sort of like little icons and stuff. In fact, there's one behind it here, like cherubs or things like that. So that, but when you see one like that, which really does stand out, especially because of the black, you know, it really does separate it. There you go. Well, hopefully you love that story about poor old George Lewis and the fact that he pretty much by accident, very similar to, if you're in Kent, we've spoken about Lord Darnley and the Tone Monument. Remarkable, definitely worth a visit should you be in the area. Right, any more words of Phoenix history? Thank you so much for coming along with me. Really, hopefully you enjoyed that wonderful little tale about poor old George Lewis. Take care everybody, and I'll see you all very soon. Ready? Kapow.